Tens of millions of borrowers will resume monthly student loan payments after the Supreme Court ruled 6-3 on Friday that President Biden's loan forgiveness plan is unconstitutional. Borrowers who qualify for the relief plan would have been forgiven for loans up to $10,000 for individual borrowers who make under $125,000 per year or $20,000 for Pell Grant recipients. You know, a lot of people, there's pros and cons, ups and downs to everything. At the end of the day, it's still, especially depending on what your field is, just having a degree, just having a bachelor's degree does in fact make it a lot easier to just get jobs. Even if it's not in your field, you're much more likely to get hired. So there's still the pro with that. Obviously, the student loan debt that comes along with it is a minus. But at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? Like our education, it annoys me when people say stuff like getting an education is a waste of time. Like, no, it's not. Take it from somebody who only has a high school diploma. No, it's not. You know, I'm lucky that I have other things going on so I can still make a way. But you know, so this is a huge issue. Student loan debt relief had been blocked by court orders and had been put on hold since November, months after the program's launch in August. Many borrowers had said the relief would help them financially plan for their futures. The issue was divided among party lines. Many Democrat lawmakers previously said eliminating debt was in the best overall interest of the economy, whereas Republicans who drove the lawsuits criticized the program as a bailout for the wealthy. I mean, obviously, we know that, you know, the Republican establishment overwhelmingly, even harder than the corporate Democrats, is all about making life easier for the wealthy. But, you know, wealthy people don't get student loans. There's no need to. Why pay that back? And even if they did, like, it's a ridiculous, stupid argument. So, yeah. And even Chuck Schumer, he wanted to eliminate $50,000 up to $50,000 in student loan relief. So Biden's plan really wasn't even that hard line, to where you had people like Chuck Schumer who wanted to go further. The conservative majority Supreme Court ruled that the federal government exceeded its authority with the relief plan. Quote, under the government's reading of the HEROES Act, the secretary would enjoy virtually unlimited power to rewrite the Education Act, Chief Justice John Roberts wrote in the majority opinion. U.S. Solicitor General Elizabeth Prelogar had said during oral arguments earlier this year that the plan's legality fell under the HEROES Act of 2003. The Higher Education Relief Opportunities for Students Act grants the Secretary of Education power to waive or modify financial assistance programs as deemed necessary through a national emergency. Both former President and Biden used the statute to pause student loan payments since the outset of the COVID pandemic. So, you know, Biden definitely can utilize the HEROES Act to go further. But again, we just need system overhaul. Our education system, I mean, even if you were to not talk about how it's funded and how it's really unaffordable, our education system as a whole just really doesn't prepare young adults for the modern or the future job market. It just doesn't. So there's so many different issues that need to be addressed outside of just student loans. Where was I? Okay. About 26 million people out of more than 40 million eligible borrowers applied for student loan cancellation or had already provided enough information to the Education Department to be deemed eligible. A Texas court struck down the Biden administration's plan in November. The Justice Department filed an emergency injunction in November asking the Supreme Court to lift the blocks on the relief plan. So it's just been a huge back and forth for the most part. The rulings deals a major blow to Biden's commitment to borrowers and potential cornerstone of his legacy as he seeks a second presidential term. Absolutely. And I think that's kind of, especially in terms of the presidential election, this definitely makes Biden more of a hard sale. Now, luckily, you know, I guess when it comes to the Democratic side, when it comes to what the Democrats need to win right now, luckily for them, the Republican Party continues to be a complete and utter, just horrendous disaster. So the choice kind of still comes down to them not being nuts. But, you know, now Biden's just not going to have as much powerful of a track record to talk about to people. It'll be more technical things that everybody ain't thinking about, like the CHIPS Act and stuff. That's definitely good for the country, but it's not something that's really going to hit home for everybody necessarily. The student loan debt, millions and millions of people would have felt that. Last summer, the administration began a 3-part plan in August to help working and middle-class borrowers transition back to regular payments after pandemic-related support expired. The plan included 1, student loan repayment pause. 2, providing targeted debt relief of low to middle income families. 3, making the student loan system more manageable for current and future borrowers. Next, we're going to talk about this, another Supreme Court decision that was handed down today. But yeah, this is definitely going to be a calling card and a policy agenda for people running for House and Senate seats, and also definitely people running for